Auguste Rodin, breathing in life to the sculpture. A young man was plodding down the campus of École des Beaux-Arts, the School of Fine Arts in France. He was so deep in despair he could barely lift his head. I failed again. It's already my third year. Does this mean that I have no talent at all? The young man's name was Rodin. He could not help but sigh over and over again. He felt like the dream of becoming a sculptor he had since he was a little boy is breaking apart. It was not the only adversity that he had to face. Soon later, his father, who was a low-level official, had to retire. His family that barely made a living had nowhere to turn to. Rodin had to work instead of studying the art of sculpture. His sister, who knew his dream, cheered him up with comforting words. "Auguste, cheer up. You will make sculptures again one day." "Thanks for saying that. But when will that day come?" Rodin was grateful for the encouragement, but as they say, misfortune never comes alone. His kind sister passed away suddenly. Rodin wailed in sorrow. "My poor sister, Father, why hast thou forsaken me?" Rodin was so heartbroken that he wanted to leave everything behind and tried to enter a monastery. Then a priest who had been admiring his talent stopped him. "Son, everyone lives with their own despair and pain. From what I have seen, you are more of a sculptor rather than a monk." That did not comfort Rodin very much, but it made him think about becoming a sculptor once again. He makes sense. Now is the time I look after my family, but when I become a sculptor, my sister in heaven will be happy for me. After changing his mind, he left for Brussels, Belgium. There, he started to work in sculpting ornaments. Thanks to working diligently in another country, the living situation of Rodin's family got better. Compliments poured in commenting on his artistry in making various ornaments. "That man made the vase in our living room. It's so ornate yet stable that everyone admired it. He's also good at making ornaments, something like brooches or trinkets." However, Rodin did not welcome those compliments. He made money, but there was an empty space in his chest. It had been 5 years since Rodin first came to Belgium. He had been saving little money after sending some to home in the Netherlands. Now he decided to put his long-stalled plan in action. It was traveling to Italy. "I thought this day would never come. You have to visit Italy if you want to call yourself a sculptor." Italy was the exhibition stage of the greatest sculptures at the time. There were masterpieces of Michelangelo, who Rodin revered. His trip to Italy was more delightful than he expected. He was nothing but happy, appreciating beautiful sculptures with his own eyes. His long-lost passion for sculpture started to squirm again. "That's right. I can't just waste my life working away. It's time I make sculptures that I can show to the world." After returning to Belgium, he started to focus on sculpture. He did a minimum amount of ornament works. With his enthusiasm revived, he made bronze sculptures. His main subject was soldiers who had been beaten and injured. "I will send these to the sculpture exhibition in Brussels and Paris. I wonder what people will think of them." There was one rule that Rodin had set when he made the bronze sculptures. It was that they had to be realistic and natural. I shall not make up a fake grandeur. Other sculptors at the time sculpted poses that were impossible for a human to do, so they stand out. Also, they tried to draw attention by depicting a victor rather than a loser, light rather than darkness, beauty rather than ugliness. Rodin did not like that. Why must all the sculptures be grand and beautiful? People's lives are often sad and burdensome. Rodin finished his sculptures with such belief and effort. It was the start of his career as a sculptor, the Age of Bronze. As he planned, he exhibited the Age of Bronze in Brussels. A few days after that day, an art critic wrote an article in a newspaper. It said, "We just discovered a new talented sculptor, Auguste Rodin. Many viewers are praising his sculpture as we speak. However, I have a question. I cannot dismiss that easily. Couldn't he have cast a living model and made the sculpture out of it?" Making a sculpture in that way was a dishonorable thing to do as a sculptor. After that article, people started to get skeptical about Rodin. Just as I thought. That man has lied to us. Yes, nobody has made that realistic bronze sculpture. Rodin was frustrated from such an unbased accusation. He even got rejected from exhibiting his sculpture in Paris. Rodin finally showed his sketch and plaster mock-up of the model to the public to get rid of such accusations. Then people started to believe Rodin in positive lights again. As a matter of fact, the bronze sculpture's height is not compatible with a real human. I did not trust the article from the beginning. Why should anyone suspect anyone? But this did not mean everyone was accepting of Rodin. After that, Rodin kept on working on his sculpture and proved his worth. We were ignorant at the time. Rodin is one of the best sculptors in history. At last, the French government bought the Age of Bronze to exhibit in a museum. It was the total recovery of Rodin's honor.